Hello and
Hello.
welcome. Hey, welcome to Adobe Live here on Behance. My name is Aaron Mace of Learn, and I'm so excited to be hosting the amazing visual story artist Katrina Yu, based out of the Philippines. We are going to be creating works of art completely from scratch and going over Katrina's visual storytelling process. I'm so excited to be introducing this amazing artist. Katrina, welcome to the broadcast. So nice to have you. Can you start by telling us a little bit about what we're going to be covering today and throughout the broadcast?
Hi, Aaron. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited to show you guys what we're gonna be doing today. So, first of all, I'm Katrina and I'm a digital marketer. What I do is I create digital assets for brands through conceptual images, motion work, or short videos. So since we're here to create worlds through matte painting or photo bashing, I just want to show you some of my personal conceptual paintings. Wait, let me show you here. Oh, here we go. Here's an example of some work that's I go through the layers, so you will see. And this is why I love matte painting, because through this process, you can create a world that is so vibrant and tell a story that you want to tell, and also acts as an invitation for your audience to join you in this story that you are telling. So,
oh, these are amazing, Katrina.
Thank you. No, you're an amazing artist yourself too.
Thank you.
And this is the last one.
Oh wow!
I like to tell. I like to tell like adventure stories, castles, dragons, and stuff. Oh, so that's it.
Absolutely
and so,
incredible. I'm going to give a little shout out to the chat, Katrina, just to get started. All right, okay. Andrea says, hello, Katrina. Happy Wednesday. We've got a lot of love. We've got so many people excited to watch the preview. Steve is going to say, oh, I'm going to have to watch the replay. Already getting up, realizing that we're going to be covering so many great things. Everyone wants to catch the replay as well.
Okay, so should we get started?
In just a second, I just want to remind everyone that if you missed the last Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge with Sam Peterson, you can still catch the second week of replays every weekday at 9 a.m. Pacific. So good to see you guys here in the chat. Bruce says, wow, amazing work, Katrina. So I'm going to be monitoring the chat for the entire stream. Feel free to chat with me, and then I'll relay over to Katrina, especially if you guys have any questions throughout the broadcast. And so excited to see you here. Without any further ado, Katrina, go ahead and take over. Let us see what you got today.
Okay. So my goal for this live stream is to give you a starting point from concept finished matte painting. So this is what we will be covering for the 2 days of live stream. So to be able to create and tell a story in a painting, we're going to start with a basic structure first. You want to make sure that the overall structure of your painting works before you put the time to refine it. So you need to be aware of the basic composition rules just to guide you. We're also going to start sketching and blocking in your shot, so you will be able to come up with a rough concept. Hold on. I still get the nerves.
You're doing great. I love your outline.
So once we have the concept done, we have our sketch. We're going to start adding photo elements. This is where I will show you the process on how to add elements, on how to tighten your photos so that it will fit your concepts or your compositions. And then we're going to show you some masking tricks and some layer organizations. Why is it important? It's because matte painting can get really complicated if you have a lot of elements in it. So you might want to know where's your foreground, your background, your deep background. So layer organization. Then after that, on day 2, we're going to color grade. So once we're going to color grade to bring them to a uniform color palette so that they will be in the same universe. So it's believable. We're going to be using layer adjustment tools, blending modes, and then I'm going to show you how I add atmosphere and lighting in my work. Then finally, we're going to add some finishing touches. We're going to show you how to sharpen your image. This is very important because you want to make sure that throughout your image, it has to have consistent sharpness all over it. And then some final layer adjustments, and then some gadgets and vignettes for the drama. That's what you're gonna go after. So let's start first. So the first thing is always a blank canvas. But knowing where to start sometimes makes the process easier. So composition is the base of every painting. It's our main roadmap. So I'm going to go over a couple basic composition rules that I often use. I use the rule of thirds, the golden ratio, and the symmetry or symmetrical balance. So here, let's start first with the rule of thirds. Okay, so rule of thirds is just what it sounds like. It's splitting the image into 3 columns and 3 rows. Your focal point is where I'm pointing my screen with my hand, but you cannot see anything. So your focal point is where the grid lines intersect. Okay, so this is really great for featuring 2 subjects because with a varying of a distance, it gives us a sense of space. So rule of thirds really help. Here's another example. Distance, rule of thirds, there you go. And we also have symmetrical balance. Okay, symmetry is when you cut an image in half and create a balanced symmetrical composition. But I'd sometimes like to break the rule in symmetry and create a slightly unbalanced one, not because one is better than the other, but it's just an artistic choice. So aside from symmetry in composition, we also have symmetry in balance. At first here, we're seeing it right in the middle, but seeing equal amounts on either side, so if you draw a line here, you don't see equal amounts on either side. So that's an artistic choice. It's an intentional asymmetry, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Also, here, I also like using, another layer of balance that I like to use is in the lights and darks in the background. This creating a diagonal that leads our eye into the distance. So the lightest here going to the darkest will help guide the eye to where you want it to go. So that is also one way to how to add interest in your composition.
Cool.
Also, another thing, the last one that I also like to use is the golden ratio. So what is the golden ratio? Well, it's math, but basically it's every time you create a division, all the inner parts maintains the same ratio as the whole. So in this painting, you can see the spiral guiding us from the foreground to the distant city down below. Having the seagull and the sun over here create a border so that the eyes doesn't go out of the frame. So we don't always need to emphasize the path, but just by placing the right subjects at the right places, the eyes will naturally fill in the gaps. So if you really think about it, about other artworks, all this are not done accidentally. These are all deliberate compositional choices. Like how the birds are placed here, it's because I want the eye to stop right there and just keep on going back and circling in this circle. So that's one way on how to use the golden ratio as well. So once we have that out of the way, we're gonna start sketching. So hold on.
All right. Yeah, it's so cool to see how you use all of these composition rules to create your elements, because at the end of the day, you are creating these compositions completely from scratch in post-production. Yeah. So you can really put anything anywhere.
Yes.
So you really have the choice to do whatever you want. So it's cool to see your thought process behind why you put some things in the place they go.
Yeah, because if you have these rules, you know, at least you have a starting point or a roadmap to guide you where to place them. So it makes easier. So it's not always a blank canvas. If you have a line that stops you from going outside, or a border, it actually helps you getting all your thoughts into an area or something. So let me just create like a grayscale palette. I usually start with my sketch. I usually start my sketch with the grayscale. I don't worry about color in the beginning because I just wanna focus on. I just wanna focus on the depth and the layers that I'm going to create. So let me just get this one. This is I'm going to start sketching. And I'm going to create my guidelines. I do that by creating a new layer and then Control T. And here in the size, I'm going to type in 33.33. So that's your thirds. And I'm going to drag in, hold on, my guidelines or the rulers to the corner.
Cool.
So there's your thirds, there's your symmetry. There we go. So there's my third, there's my symmetry. So what I usually start with is, let me just change my brush. I like using a hard brush, is to figure out where your horizontal line is. You want to know where the eyes will be looking and stuff. Hold on. There we go. And we're going to create something. Hold on. We're going to create a castle on a mountain. Just because. I just want to show you how I create a castle from scratch.
I can't wait to see.
Okay, so I'm going to put my focal point here. And maybe add in varying heights here. And maybe some mountains in the background.
Oh, beautiful. It already looks so cool.
It's still just a sketch. Oh, hold on. I'm going to shade it so that we will see the depth of the mountains that we're going to be creating. The sketch doesn't have to be pretty. It's just for your eyes only. And you usually want to do it really small because you just want to see how it looks as a composition. So maybe your foreground here. Like you want to create like a path over there. There we go.
So did you grow up drawing a lot and sketching?
I did, but not a lot because there's like some years where I stopped drawing. Maybe during those school days, you know, when you're not listening to the teacher and then you're doodling on your notebook. I don't know if it's considered as practice. I don't know because my sketch is horrible. I can't draw. So yeah, so maybe this would be our sketch. Hold on, looks good. maybe, oh, no. Then let me just, oops, add in a golden ratio. This is just something I grabbed from the internet. It doesn't have, there you go. Just want to see how it fits in. Let me just hide that. So if my castle is the main focal point, there we go. Let me just change that. So still missing something. Maybe you want to add like a foreground element here. This is where some artists would add, you know, a tree or a bush. just to add that border so that the eyes doesn't go out of the frame, so that it keeps on going and going into, there you go. So yeah, why not?
Looks great.
Anyways. Okay, why not? So then we're gonna start adding our photo elements. Okay, so usually my screen would look like, hold on. So actually the most time consuming part is looking for stock photos to do for your elements.
Totally.
That's it.
Do you have any suggestions on where to look for stock photos?
Oh, well, there's Adobe stock that I would check. But before going into looking for stock photos, you need to understand what kind of environment you're creating, what kind of world you're making. Is it rocky? Is it snowy? Is it like, what's the climate? What kind of castle are you making? What kind of rocks? So these are the things, the questions that you need to ask so that you will know what kind of mountains you will be looking. Because if you're just gonna type castle, there's gonna be millions of castles, well, not millions, like hundreds. And each of them have different types of architecture. So the architectures needs to match, also the colors needs to match, and the materials needs to match. So I already pre-looked for some photos so that you will actually get to see something in this element. Hold on. So what I would do, I would also, before that, I'm going to just draw. I'm going to put this on top so that I'll just have a guideline for my photos on where to put them. Oh, it's hard to understand, but as long as I understand it, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna start with, I usually start with the midground or the main subject, because this will determine on how big your foreground will be, or how deep or small or your backgrounds will be. So there's your mountain. We'll see there. Just put it there first. And we're gonna start with a castle. Let me see. Decided to go with Neuschwanstein castle because just because.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, doesn't have to be this, but I just want to work with this today. So I'm going to be masking it pretty fast so that you will see how it gets built. Hold on. Anyways, just there. Not clean enough. if I'm doing this without any time constraint, I would actually just go in there and just paint it with a brush and take all the time that it needs.
Yeah, totally.
Since we're, I just really want to show you how this will be formed. So let's see that one. Hold on.
This is so exciting. We're seeing a world come to life.
I hope so. Well, it'll be fun. So let's see.
Someone says the Disney castle. Sean Cosell says the Disney castle is actually based on this castle.
Yes, I think so.
So cool.
Well, it depends on which Disney castle, because I think they based it on the different countries that the stories are based. Like if it's Frozen, then it's more on an Icelandic kind of design.
Oh.
Yeah, I think this is more on the Beauty and the Beast because it's English and stuff. I'm not sure. I'm no castle expert.
Neither am I. You could tell me literally anything right now. I would believe
you will believe it. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe we have a castle expert in the chat. Let us know what you guys any castle knowledge bombs. Go ahead and drop those in the chat.
I'm willing to listen.
Bruce asks, do you use smart objects when you work like this, or is there a reason why you don't use smart objects?
Okay, so the reason why I use smart objects, but right now I'm just doing it fast so that I can finish it. But usually what I do is I would just really quick, I will just, not that bad, but like took an outline and just paste all the elements together that I need. And then once it's done, I would individually mask it out and replace them so that it will look cleaner and sharper. But right now I don't have the luxury to do that. So it's very distractive. But usually if it's for clients' work or personal work, I would, like for this one, I would actually just go in the original picture. Once I have all the elements placed, I would go in the original picture like that. Let me press that one. And actually mask everything like that.
Okay.
Like really getting in there and then just mask it out, like really clean, and then this is where where it takes a lot of time, and then this is where you need to have some music on, get in the zone, get in the zen or whatever you want to call it, because this is gonna be where most of your time will fall. On masking. So right now it's just the fast-paced one.
That totally makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, we got to get it done.
Yeah, because if I'm just going to be masking all of this, I'll probably just mask like 2 or 3 and then we're time's up.
Yeah, better to move on. Cody Bear asks, are you using a drawing tablet or a mouse and a trackpad?
I'm using a drawing tablet. I'm using a Wacom one. Mouse is also doable, but I don't know, it might get some strain in your wrist. So you don't want to wash your hands after that. You want to really protect your wrist if you're doing a lot of mouse work or computer work, because carpal tunnel, it's not a joke. Yeah, so a tablet helps, but doing it on a mouse is not impossible. Right, Aaron?
I agree. Yeah, I use a tablet consistently, and every now and then I use a mouse, and I hate it, but it's doable in a pinch.
Yeah, a mouse is it's really doable, but it's limited, and if you have the jitters, so good luck. But
yeah, I find my muscle memory with a tablet, if I have my tablet and my computer set up in my normal setup, I don't have to think about doing anything. But as soon as I switch to using a trackpad on my laptop, I start having to remember the shortcuts just because I'm moving my hands. It's really interesting that my muscle memory tends to reset if I change devices.
Oh, that's so true. Especially if when you're editing videos and stuff, you can't use a tablet. So you really have to use a mouse. And then all these videos program, they also have their own editing keyboard.
Yeah, keyboard shortcuts. Yes.
No, they also have their editing keyboard, like the Da Vinci one. They have like little wheel pads or whatever. And it takes you need to have a lot of compartments in your brain for different muscle memories, I guess.
Totally. I'm learning 3D modeling, and all the shortcuts, all the tools are completely different. So when I switch back and forth from programs, I'm like, it takes me a minute to recalibrate my mind.
That's true, because you use a mouse on 3D.
Exactly.
Hold on.
Have you tried some of Adobe's advanced tools like Select Subject?
I'm so used to my workflow that I don't. Oh, hold on. Oh, where? Hold on. I'm so used to my workflow that I don't even know that there's that. But can you point me to it?
Yeah. Maybe when a simple example comes up, I'll point you to it in just a little bit. Yeah, I get the same way. If I have a method that works, I have a tendency to just continue doing the same method. Yeah,
because I actually really get in the zone when you do this. So you're just sticking to whatever you're used to. Hold on, so I'm gonna put it maybe here. Okay, maybe around here. So the thing with architecture is that you want to add different elements, and you want to be careful with the size of, with the scale of your subject. So you want to make sure that your windows are of the same size, or the doors or the people, so that it doesn't look out of place. Also, you want to be careful of the sun, of your lighting, because a lot of pictures that you will find eventually will be taken by different people. So it's not gonna always be the same sunlight condition or the same lighting condition. So you have to be, it's gonna take some time to decide on. Oh, and I think I haven't mentioned, I decided, because the light seems to be coming from this side. So that's the sun. So we are going to focus our shadows over there. Wait, hold on. Anyways. This one. So Midground Tower.
Oh, Sean says this castle had the first telephone in Germany.
Oh, that's interesting.
Into the modern age. Maybe we can put telephone wires coming from the castle.
Maybe we should. Or maybe they still do pigeon letters, pigeon mail.
I like that even more.
Oops, I kind of placed my, wait, hold on. That's weird. Or here.
Giovanni says, I've never seen the rule of thirds in practice. This is so awesome. Loving this stream.
Thanks. Well, I break the rules all the time, but you have to know them before you can break them. So, right?
Yep, exactly.
So, rule of thirds are really helpful because it will help get you at least to know where we're gonna start. It doesn't always have to be at the rule of thirds, but it helps when you need to, just to get something on the blank canvas. So let me just too big.
Yeah, having a starting place is really important.
Oh. I want it to be really high. Yeah. So that's our focal point. So we're going to somewhere, maybe there. We'll see. Nothing's final. Nothing's ever going to be final until you have everything placed, and that's when you can see if it's working or not. Hold on. What's this?
Nice. We have a question from the chat. Ferry is asking, do you use any other compositions other than the rule of thirds or the golden ratio?
I like to add symmetrical balance as well. Hold on. Why is it? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Oh, take your time.
I don't know why it played. Let me just close that one. Close window.
Oh, good. Take your time.
There we go.
We all know what it's like to have a million tabs open on your screen.
I'm a tab hoarder.
Me too, man. Me too.
I'm a tab hoarder. It's a really bad habit. And then you just forget about it. And then you download all these tab savers. And then you just forget about it. Eventually. That you have that kind of...
Like, why did I save this? What was I even thinking?
Yeah.
Tab hoarder. I haven't heard that term before, but it's a good one.
A tab hoarder. Tab hoarding. Did you know that on a cell phone, if you use a Chrome tab, if you got to 100 tabs open, the tab number at the bottom will turn into a smiley face.
Oh, really?
You're not that kind of hoarder, yeah.
Not...
if you don't know.
No, I think I'd lose that battle.
So if you reach 100, more than 99 into the 3-digit, the number will turn into a smiley face. So you can go and check it out. Start collecting tabs.
Yeah, collecting smiley faces.
Oh, that's just one. Yeah, for the Chrome, I think I don't know about other browsers.
Yeah, I'll have different windows open with different subjects as well. I used to work pretty much only on a desktop computer, and now I work mostly on a laptop. So it's really changed how much tab hoarding I can do. I don't have as much screen space.
That's true. Hold on. So, beware of the window size. So sunlight is there. Do I want to cover the sunlight? I'm not sure, so we'll see.
Oh, Adja in the chat says, I've seen that smiley face before, never knew what it was for.
Yeah, hello, fellow tab hoarder. We're in the same club. I think mine got to, got to a point where it's really bad because I would use different browsers, and all these different browsers have a lot of tabs open, and I don't even know what are they. Maybe I just don't close them. I don't know.
Do you feel like in real life, are you more of a minimalist, or do you tend to have a lot of stuff in real life too?
Depends on what kind of stuff, but I usually put them in a box. I'm kind of like a lot of stuff, but I don't, it's not in a messy way because I can't stand mess, but have you seen, like, I have a lot of stuff. That's it. I have to look behind me and see my table if it's empty. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I feel
so
like
what I just,
I'm the same.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm the same by nature, for sure.
So what I just did, actually, it's because the castle is a bit yellow. So I just added level adjustments and added a bit of a color correction here so that it's not that kind of an eyesore while you're working. Because though I still don't know where to place this, but we will see. Maybe...
Giovanni says, an organized maximalist.
That's the first time I've heard of it. I'm going to borrow that.
Yeah, I like that more than hoarder. Hoarder has a little bit of a negative connotation to it.
Oh, that's true.
Organized maximalist seems like a celebration.
Oh, that's okay. That's very good. We're learning a lot today. Castles to the first phone, and then organized maximalist.
Organized maximalist. Yeah, I'm the same way. I tend to collect things. It's way easier to collect than to get rid of things.
So do you collect big things or like small things?
Well, I think right now I'm collecting digital things more than anything else. They don't take up much space, so that's good. But previously, I would tend to jump into new hobbies and get really excited and then go collect everything I can associated with that new hobby until I got bored, and then I would move on to a different thing.
OMG, you sound like my twin, like a twin of, like, is it because we're in the same horoscope? We tend to like jump around things and be very, passionate about things, and then we cool down, and then we really cool down.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. There's definitely a tendency to get very excited, and then once something is no longer interesting, move on in a real way. Recently, I moved to Mexico, and as a part of that, I couldn't take a lot of my stuff with me, so I actually sold a lot of stuff, almost everything I own, and that was very, very hard. It was very difficult to do emotionally, but I made it through. So I'm on the other side.
That's good. You know, I used to travel a lot as well. I go live in different places before staying here, before COVID starts, you know.
Yes.
So I only have like my belongings for like for so many years, like maybe 5 years. It's like
Yes.
I can fit it in a big suitcase, everything. So it's like I can't own anything big because my books, I have to leave my books. I have to give it to somebody else if they want to, you know, all those stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty good at letting go. That's
Good
why
job.
right now I'm just hoarding stickers. So I don't know, stickers.
Nice. That's so good. Yeah, it's a good thing to learn how to let go for sure. And you worked, you traveled a lot, on cruise ships, yeah?
Yes. Well, it was just for 6 months there, cruise ships. We go around the Caribbean. It was fun. I did some photography there in cruise ships.
Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. So you've been to a bunch of countries in the Caribbean.
Yeah, most of them.
Shout out into the chat. Has anyone been to the Caribbean? And if so, what was your favorite place? Maybe Katrina's been there too.
This one looks nice here. Just so color adjusting actually is a lot of pushing and pulling. There's no set formula for the colors. You just really need to train your eye on how to see the colors, like how much more of a blue, of a red that it needs to have. Hold on, let's get this.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most difficult things to learn is working with color. For me, anyway. I've always kind of struggled with it. And do you have any suggestions for people on maybe books they can read or videos or techniques that they can try to understand color a little bit better?
Color, James Gurney's The Color of Light, I think. Let me check. Is it James Gurney? Yeah, color and light.
Color and light.
This is amazing, but this is for really here. Color and light. Here, let me just post it here real quick. Color and light, that one.
Oh, there it is.
That one. This one.
I just put a link to it in the chat as well. And
yeah.
Anika says, that's a great book.
This is amazing if you're really serious about knowing color and light, the title. So because he talks about how the light affects color in different lighting scenarios. Like if it's sunny, it's more contrast, it's more saturated. If it's cloudy, it's less contrast, less saturated. And then he talks about atmospheric perspective, which is just a fancy term for the color of the sky in the background. Yeah, so let me just finish. Yeah, James Green, I read that like a few years back, and I still keep a copy right beside in the main bookshelf. I love it that much.
It looks really cool. And I guess there's a YouTube channel as well.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
That's too blue. So if the color doesn't really work, let me. Here, you can just grab a color and just paint it over, and then you can use the color blending layer, blending color. But this is just like a really last resort because it just kills everything. It kills your highlights, it kills your shadows. But in a pinch, it works just for the basic roof. Just put it there for now. Still too red, so there we go. Okay.
I thought you were just going to take one castle and plop it in there, but you were totally creating a castle from scratch here.
Yes, because it's your universe. You don't want people to like, oh, this is in Germany or whatever. You know, just take the architecture and play with it, and then build worlds like that. It's fun, and then you get to imagine stuff. You know, like
that's brilliant. I was just listening to a podcast on you know how the European countries came together to create the euro, the new money. This was years ago, but they wanted to create something that wouldn't necessarily symbolize individual countries. So they decided to create bridges on each of the euro notes, but they wanted the bridges to be made up, like what you're doing. They wanted to make fictional bridges for each of the different notes, but it turns out they were using real bridges instead. It took some bridge experts to find that they were actually using real bridges. So they actually had to go back and remake all of the art for the euro bills using fake bridges once more. So they were doing basically what you're doing, just with bridges.
That's interesting. We're learning a lot tonight, yeah?
Yes.
Or today.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Well, you will be surprised on how much background or scenes in movies are mostly made of photo bashing. It's an industry standard. There's a lot of professional use photo bashing with movies, especially.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I guess they have to get assets from somewhere, right? And photos are probably the best way to do it. This castle is looking really cool, man.
Oh, thank you.
I want to go there.
Let's all go there. Let's hope that it's comfy and at least have electricity. Because I've seen some documentaries like how they live in ancient castles. I don't know if it's comfortable despite being in a castle. You know what I mean? Because the stones are cold and then there's hardly any light.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Probably pretty drafty. Probably, you know, the bathroom situation's probably very weird.
There's no bathroom. It's a chamber pot.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have to make sure that you're like a royalty when you're living in a castle. Because if not, if you're just someone who needs to clean up, then I don't know. The living situation must be a more harsher because you're gonna be in colder rooms, in basements and stuff.
Exactly.
So where's that?
Nathan says we got Hogwarts energy here. Nice. All right. Now we got a real question for the chat here. What house in Hogwarts do you most associate with? Are you a Gryffindor? Are you a Hufflepuff? And Katrina, what house are you in?
I took a test before and I'm a Gryffindor.
All right, Gryffindor.
we might be the same, Aaron.
We are. I took a test. I took a test too. I'm also Gryffindor. Cody says, I'm a proud Hufflepuff. Nice.
Aaron and I share the same horoscope, so our personality seems to be in the same track, given our extreme, how to say, maximalist, organized
maximalist. Yes.
Yeah, we're the same.
Cody says, I'm not surprised you guys are both Gryffindor. Organized maximalists. Oh, yeah.
And then I'm just going to use a very rough, textured brush just to give this a bit of a transition point between the mountains and the cement. But we're gonna add vegetation towards it later on, so there's no problem.
Cool.
Just see. So this is why hoarding those Photoshop brushes can come very handy. Yeah, I don't even remember where are those. You basically have like hundreds and then you only use one or two.
Totally. Do you find yourself making your own Photoshop brushes as well?
Sometimes if I have to, like a front of a building or a pattern that I need to make, but that's very rare because basically I just paint over it. You would just want to paint over it.
Yep, totally. I'm just gonna, have you saved yet, Katrina?
Oh, let me save this. There we go.
Yeah, sometimes I'll work for hours on a piece and realize I haven't saved, and I'm like, oh God, thank God it didn't crash.
Okay, so we'll just finish this real quick so that we can start adding our background. Sorry.
Ooh, Cody's got a great tip. Public service announcement. Sip water, flip your canvas, stretch your wrists, and save your work. I like that.
Great advice. Great advice.
Oh, I'm gonna do it myself. Thanks, Cody Barrett. Ooh, good advice. Sometimes if I work too long on a computer, my eyes get like so strained from staring at the same thing for too long. I have to take breaks.
Did you know there's a thing called chair yoga?
No, that sounds amazing.
Like basically you do yoga poses or yoga stretching on your work chair. And if you're suffering, well, not suffering, let's hope you're not suffering. If anyone's have like a backache or what, it's really helpful because it helps stretch your hamstrings or your back, lower back, so that it will not pull on the muscles on your back. So you're, I'm not gonna demonstrate, but the reason why we have backaches is because we have really tight hamstrings. So if you have tight hamstrings from sitting all day, the muscles from the legs will pull from your muscles from the back. So that's why it causes backaches. That's why people who sit a lot, you know, those work that needs to be in front of the computer for a lot of time, for a lot of hours. They suffer from backaches because the legs are being in a single position for so long, and then the muscles are stretching and they're very tight. That's why if you're sitting a lot, you do have to do a lot of hamstring or quad stretches so that the muscles can flex a little bit so that your back will not suffer.
That is so good to know.
Because everything's connected.
Everything is connected. I did a little yoga before today's stream and it felt so good. I've switched to working mostly on a laptop, and what I find is I like to move from my different rooms. I'll go work on the bed and lay down for a little bit, then I'll go to the couch, then I'll go to a desk, then I'll go to a chair, and that helps to kind of like change my body position a little bit so I don't get so fatigued.
Well, that's good. Maybe we should all shift to laptops.
You know, I thought I was going to be really like restricted with working on a laptop because the screen is smaller and, you know, I don't have all my fancy tools, but I actually come to really like it. And laptops have gotten so good. It's insane.
Yes, especially those ones geared for gaming or for 3D or for movie editing. OMG.
Yeah. I have a friend who uses their phone to do all of their movie editing too. And I'm like, man, it's a brave new world.
What a time to be alive. You don't want to go live in a castle anymore.
Maybe if it's got good Wi-Fi.
Well, the modern castle. No, yeah, if you want to live in a castle, you have to imagine yourself, you're back 100 or 200 years ago.
Oh, there we go.
Experience.
Yeah.
The full experience. Not the vacation type castle.
Yeah, not the Instagram ready vacation castle. Got to go back to where.
That's just half of the fun.
Yeah.
You have to be there with the lifestyle, understand everything, and then you realize, oh, we're living better than the richest royalties than before.
It's crazy. I think we're, you know, the average person now has more luxury than even the royalty of hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
Very comfortable time to be alive.
Yeah.
Air conditioning.
Yeah, that's why we have to be thankful that we're here, you know?
Exactly.
This one. So I think we're getting there.
I'm going to look up that chair yoga, though. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah, you should. Everyone should try it.
I tried working on one of those exercise balls, too.
So how did you like it?
Yeah, I did like it. It was like my main computer chair, and I was like bouncing around, and I had to switch between that and a regular chair though, because I had too much time on an exercise ball because I was really low. So I was like doing
that's true as well. Yeah, I've seen people using it as a main chair, as a work chair. Those, what do you call those balls? Medicine ball, is it?
Yeah, or like an exercise ball or like a yoga ball. Yeah, I don't know what they're called. But yeah, I've tried that, and I had to switch between that and a regular chair. And then I had a standing desk for a while, which is cool. But then, you know, after too long of standing, that would get tiring. And then I've seen people have treadmills under their desk where they walk and work at the same time, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen those, and I'm thinking, can you really do it for a long time? Is it feasible? Those treadmill chairs. I don't know.
I don't know.
Can you actually do it? Can you? I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. I think we're trying to like solve the symptoms of a problem rather than trying to solve the problem itself, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but
Yeah.
the thing about the hamstring that I've read, you can search it, like tight. Why do you need to stretch your tight hamstrings and stuff? And it will tell you that it's connected on the back. So you might.
Yeah, that's
it's
brilliant.
Helpful.
Yeah, I'm looking at. There's yoga with Adrienne, one of my favorite YouTube persons.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's so sweet.
She is sweet. She has a chair yoga video I just posted in the chat. I'm gonna do what she suggests. Just turning from one side to another. Look at this. We're all learning and we're getting more healthy on this stream as well. We're creating beautiful castles and improving our health at the same time.
Crazy. Oh, that's digital age.
Yeah.
Multitasking.
Multitasking. Exactly.
The epitome, the perfect example.
I can do everything.
Let me just get that texture in. Also another thing, it's very nice. It would be interesting to add interesting parts of architecture in your. Wait, let me find something, because this is so monotonous. So let me find. If I can.
Oh, Ferry says, I do cycling and boxing to relax myself.
Oh, that's nice. It's so active.
That's impressive. I did a lot of cycling when I lived in Chicago, but I've never done any boxing. What are some of your go-to exercises, Katrina? Or in the past, or in the future.
Well, I try. Well, yoga. That's it, and swimming. But I don't swim. It's mostly more on, how to say, water dipping.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, exercise and me don't mix. But I try to. That's what I say all the time.
Yoga totally counts, and water dipping counts as well.
Water dipping, water dipping. You know, they would say, "Are you gonna go swimming?" No, yes, sure, water dipping. I'm just gonna stand there and just be cool.
I think any time spent in the water is good time.
It's true.
Healing. Do you prefer the ocean, or do you go to like a pool, or what's your preferred water dipping situation?
We have a pool, so it's just at home, but because I don't like public pools, so just in the pool. And then I don't go out these days because of the situation right now. Because we recently got COVID as well, so it was weird.
Oh boy, yeah, yeah, it's.
So we're really minimizing it.
That's good. Yep. Yeah, we're all trying to figure out the best thing to do right now. I've been watching a lot of, there's a YouTube channel that I love about a person who like lives in the woods, and she built her own cabin, and it's just very relaxing. So whenever I feel too pent up in the house, I watch like nature videos and outdoorsy living in the woods videos, and I'm like, I feel much better now.
That's just like projected, right? You want to live through their life kind of thing, live through their experience, because you really miss the outdoors after a while.
Yes,
but
very
it's
much
okay.
so.
But it's okay because I get to spend time with my family, so it's okay.
And that's been the biggest thing for me too, is spending more time with family. It's honestly been the best time. I went and stayed with my brother for a few months earlier in the year, and we got so close and had such a better relationship, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I'm really happy for that opportunity.
Yeah. At the good side, right? Maybe this is time to patch relationships or be closer to, I don't know. It's nice. And you get to have time to slow down because, you know, sometimes we tend to be on the go all the time. So sometimes to slow down and just be still helps a lot.
Yes, 100%. Slow down time. I feel like we're all getting to experience like a mini retirement, not like real retirement, but like, like, okay, cool. This is a different pace of life.
That's true. Also, this is how retirement feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm rethinking what I want to do with my retirement years after this last year.
There's no such thing as retirement because
I don't think so. I think I would get bored.
You'll not get bored. Sagittarius don't get bored.
Bam, dropping that knowledge.
I hate it that it's so dirty, but I will try if I can clean it tomorrow if I have time, but
it looks really good. Honestly, I can't even see that. I can't see the amount of detail that you see, so it looks really, really good.
Thank you. I'm just, or maybe that's not working. Let me find something else. It's a lot of trial and error.
Definitely.
Let me see if I can find, maybe a door.
This is cool. I love how you're taking all these different elements and putting them together.
Oh yeah, because I will just show you my other screen. These are like my pictures. I have a bunch. Like before starting something, I would gather everything and then just put it there. And sometimes when you find an element that you think will work, it might not necessarily work. So you just have to keep on trying and trying. And sometimes when maybe you might want to rethink how you take your travel photos. Maybe before you want people in it. Maybe now you want to take stock photos for matte painting every time you travel. You want to take all the angles, all the sun positions and stuff.
I have a friend who, when he travels, he takes stock photos and then he comes back and just uploads them all to Adobe stock. And it's a nice way of passive income for him.
Yes, definitely, because you can't go to a lot of places all the time. Plus, it's actually a niche, I think, because aside from travel stock photos, I've seen people taking pictures of characters or people dressing up as characters and take a lot of different poses. So, and these are called reference photos. These are so the target audience are illustrators or, you know, people who digital artists because they need people to draw or anatomy to follow the poses. So yeah, so instead of stock poses, stock photos, maybe you want to check into reference photos.
That's brilliant. And we have a question from the chat. Samantha asks, do you use your own photos, stock photos, or a combination?
Combination. I don't have a mix of mine from different places that I've been to, and then most are stock photos.
That's brilliant because it means anyone can get started on this. You know, we've all got access to stock photos. There's such great libraries out there, and you can start creating today anything that you can imagine.
Yes, you just have to make sure that the material matches when you're looking for stock photos. Like what I said, if you're going to create a castle, you have to make sure that your stone or the type of rocks or the bricks are the same so that it will not create a headache for you later on when you will see that, oh, the architectures are not matching. It's like you can't take a castle from the Middle East and a castle from Europe and put it, well, you can, but you know, sometimes the mind has this unconscious thing of detecting patterns. So they might say like, this doesn't, you know, it doesn't really blend well, or it doesn't really, it's not in the same time frame or timeline. So that could be, that could create some, how to say, discord or dissonance or something. But
yes.
if you're really good at it, and then you can mix it and create your world, go ahead. It could be something interesting. Because some people find mixing textures really difficult. So if you're really starting, I would really recommend just to stick to the same materials. Like if it's white, just look for something of the same color. You don't want to you don't want to look for like this. If it's a brick, you don't want like a sand castle or something. Well, you can add something in at the side, but you just have to make sure that at the end of the day, you'll be able to mix it and make it look like they're in the same universe. That's it.
Yeah, that's really good advice.
Maybe I think this is it, and then we'll just add a few more towers. I'm not sure. Yeah, we still have time, so not. I have like a little timer here because I'm so scared.
You're doing great.
I just want to be able to show you something at least. So.
We've already learned quite a bit. You're doing great.
Thank you. If you have any questions, please, you can always ask. I'll try to answer as best as I can.
So is that the same tower that you're repeating vertically?
Yep.
Cool. So you can make up your own elements and copy and
yes, you can create it like that. You just break it down and just there.
Cool. And the lighting matches perfectly also.
Yes. And you can and you can break up the monotony by adding like just what I did here with the door, or adding a different type of window and stuff. Just adding different small elements just to break up that monotony, but still it's from the same element, and it saves you work. Maybe last more. We need a little bit of something at the side. Sure.
Fairy asks in the chat, do you ever print your own work, Katrina?
So yeah. Yes, sometimes. Yes, I do.
Do you find that as a helpful part of your creative process?
Not all the time, but if I'm going to make something for a client that would need extra detail, I would print it and see how it looks on print. And if they really wanna, and I would also work on a really big, how to say this?
Like a canvas or like a digital stream?
Yeah, like how to say, a really big, oh my gosh.
Document or canvas?
Resolution, bigger resolution.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah, if it requires. But for personal work, I don't really print them.
Yeah, I always feel weird about having my own work printed in my house. Especially if I'm doing self-portraits, which I've done quite a bit of, then I always feel weird about having pictures of myself in my own house. I seem like a crazy person, so I tend to only have other people's art in my own house. How about you, everyone in the chat? Do you have any of your own work in your own house, like on your walls, or do you tend to put other people's work on your walls? I I think I'd love to get your opinion. And how about you, Katrina? Do you put some of your own work on your walls as art in your own house?
I have one there. I have one there. It's just that one because hold on, I'll show you. Yeah, I have one. Just because it's a favorite of my cousin, so I printed out for her, but it ended up on my table.
Oh yeah, would you mind showing the picture one time more? Just come close to the screen.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Thanks. My cousin loves it, so I printed for her, but it ended up on my table. for there. Hold on, this is the last one, and then we'll get to working on our backgrounds and the scene because we had enough of castles. Just pardon the rough masks, but maybe here we'll see. Anyways, let me just everything. Yeah, I'll work on it later. So right now we'll try to add some background elements. So I usually start with deep backgrounds. I like adding mountains in the background just to give it a sense of space. So of course, just quick channel masking.
Looks like a lot of people in the chat have a mix between their own work and other people's work. And Giovanni has thrifted art as well, which I love.
They can be great finds.
There's an artist that I like that finds paintings in thrift stores and then paints over them. Really, really interesting stuff.
Oh, that's a very cool idea. I've seen people do paintings on how to say book sides. How to say what do you call that?
Yeah,
book
I think
edge. Is it a book edge? Yeah, they paint there, and then it's becoming a thing.
I've seen those videos on like Instagram stories and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Where's my sketch? So if that's my sketch, we're going to move it back here. We'll see. We'll see. That's the mountain. Just put it there. We're not dealing with colors yet or atmosphere. We're just placing elements and see how it looks as a final composition.
And so do you find it helpful to like zoom out to make it really small at this stage?
Yes, because you want to see an overview of everything. Like this mountain, I might want to like reshape it just to fit my composition. Like I would use the warp a lot or the distortion a lot just to see how it fits, but we'll see. Because we are working not based on the look of the photo element, but we're working based on our composition or our sketch. So we're going to shape these mountain that would look like it fits in our universe, hold on, let's just rasterize that. Give it like that so that it has a sense of flow. So I really like to distort some of it just to add to the flow that I am after. Wait, hold on. maybe that.
Yeah, it's so cool to see how composition really drives your creation.
Yeah, because you want to tell a story, like what is it? Where's your beginning, your middle, and the end? So you want the eye to stay in the frame so many times. Like I want that feeling of whenever you see something, you have to keep on looking, and every time you keep on looking, you find something new. Like you discover something new.
Yes.
Like, oh, there's this, there's that. Like, oh. Like actually before, when I didn't even care about composition, I don't really know why people would stare at paintings in museums for so long. But after learning about this design elements and stuff, you get to understand, oh, no wonder they can stare at a painting for an hour and come up with a thesis about it. Like, why did Mona Lisa smile, you know?
I learned that the Mona Lisa was stolen.
Oh.
Yeah, I had no idea. It was stolen years and years ago, but then it was actually returned by the person who stole it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, pretty crazy. I think that's one of the reasons why it became so famous as well. Stolen art has more value. Well, not always.
That's
but...
true as well. Yeah, like when the first time you will see the Mona Lisa and then it's so small.
I've never seen it in person.
You know, Mona Lisa is so small. Well, not that small, but for the hype that it's having, it's small. And then the paintings beside it are huge. And they're not getting the same attention as the Mona Lisa, which is unfair because they're all painted by masters. You know,
yes. Yeah, there was an interesting podcast that I listened to about how if a piece of art is stolen or has like an interesting history, it can tend to make it more well-known and even more valuable. So, you know, not suggesting anyone go out there and steal some art, but you know.
Steal Mona Lisa.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck trying to do it. Would you mind repeating?
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
There's really nothing. It was just about Mona Lisa.
Deborah asks, can you repeat your 3 rules of composition that you're using today?
Okay, so I'm using the rule of thirds, the symmetry, and golden ratio. There's no strict that it's nothing strict that it has to be right on the dot, but it just helps me with the composition on how I place my elements and then how I tell the story. So there you go. There's my grid. There's my golden ratio. So let me see. Let me just show you something. I'm going to put a foreground so that it will fit with this. See, yeah. So like here, the line. Let me just add it like that. Just cut it. Maybe move it down a little bit. No, change.
Oh, that's looking great.
Thank you. We'll see. It's still a bit. Yeah, but it's coming together. Oh, surprisingly. Oops. Maybe. Maybe more mountains. See that one? just to give it like a far, far away land kind of feeling.
Yeah.
It doesn't look that, because we still haven't added atmosphere. So it still looks flat, but when we're gonna add atmosphere, we're going to create atmosphere to put it really at the back. We're gonna put it in Z space. So there you go. And maybe just add some, there you go. There.
I'm imagining dragons. I'm imagining all kinds of things coming in this castle.
Maybe trees. I'm just gonna erase it there, but usually you wanna find transition points between your trees. Just delete it. And it's gonna, wait, hold on, just let me see.
Do you have any advice you might give to people doing this for the first time?
Just try it. It's never gonna be perfect. It's never gonna be beautiful. We're not here. Our aim here is not to make a beautiful picture. Well, if it ends up as a beautiful picture, then it's great. But you just want to keep on working and then keep on trying, because the more you work on it, the more you will realize, or the more you will encounter scenarios that would help enhance your skill or sharpen the axe, whatever they say it. You just keep on working. You will realize that the way you work from daylight and the night scene is different, and the way you work with sunny or rainy or the wet surface is different. So you won't know what you need to learn if you're not gonna do something. So just start with a very simple canvas, maybe just a mountain, and then add a background to it. Learn how do you design your atmosphere. Just start from there, right? It's just very simple. You don't need to make a castle, or you don't need, like, not everybody likes castles. So
good advice. Yeah, start simple.
Just start simple. It could be just stitching two pictures together, or it could be, if you're into urban cities, you can do cities and learn perspectives. It's fun. Let me just, I'll clean it up. But at the end of the day, you have to just start, because inspiration only comes to those who work. Yeah, that's what they say.
That's a good saying. I like it. Do you have any favorite composite artists or favorite photographers?
I don't call them composite artists or photographers, but I really love, right now I'm really into cinematography. So I watch a lot of Roger Deakins, a lot of his work, because at the same time, because they're the same, even though they're not using Photoshop as a tool, but they're still creating worlds and environments for us to enjoy. And it's a really good study to see how they light a scene, because the movie is the same. Movie is all fake lights. Nothing is natural light. So imagine how they paint a scene. So I like that. And like Blade Runner, the colors, beautiful. So yeah. Sorry,
yeah.
No particular composite artist.
No, I think that's great advice. It's great to think about how different types of art forms, kind of interact with each other, and how you can be inspired by other types of art forms as well.
Yeah, because so there was this time when I got really into movies and I just watch one movie a day, something like that, and just study how the scene works. How did the artist think of it? Why did he choose this color? Especially with movies, like they not only tell stories through the lines, but they tell stories a lot through with their color choices. I really like that. Like how their color grading of a film tells the story. I think that's very powerful and that's so creative. So yeah. Wait, let me just, my layers are a mess. I'm working very fast, but it's okay. I'm gonna add vegetation. I usually like to add vegetation. Like vegetation are a great way to just break, you know, break this sharp edges. And let me just, it doesn't really look clean, but we'll try to fix it. Let me, maybe,
yeah, that's looking great.
Maybe pine trees doesn't really work. Maybe we add something different from like a,
So you're changing the blending mode here as well to help them kind of blend together a little bit better?
oh yes. So vegetation and the lighten mode works amazing. I don't know. It's such, they're a good pair. Especially if it's against a mountain, because mountains have shadows. So with the lighten layer, it shows only the part where it's darker, right? I don't know the science behind it, but like lighten layer. There we go.
Cool. Yeah, that's working really well.
Add it. Maybe I'll get the pine trees. Maybe add pine trees back.
Yeah, it's so cool to use vegetation to kind of cover up the seams and blend things together. Great idea.
Yeah. Plus, it gives more of a naturalness to it, because if there's life, there's always gonna be greens. So like, anyways, we'll clean it up. So that's and then the foreground. Let's add something real quick.
Nice. Bruce is excited to see what you're going to use for the foreground.
Okay, so I have this pre-cut grasses.
And are these Adobe stock, these grasses and things like that?
Oh no, this is from a picture that I took that I just cut, that I took in a white background and then I cut it out.
Good idea. Making your own assets.
Yeah, sometimes it helps. You don't need a lot. You just need the really basic ones that you frequently use. Wait, I'll fix my layers in a bit. Because these are simple grasses, so. Anyways,
Do you have a garden? Drew says it looks like you've got a green thumb.
I do, but I don't have time for gardening. I'd love to. I even have a compost bin. You know, I do all that. But, you know, and then I realized that you really cannot do a lot of things in one day.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, you need to have priorities and stuff.
Very much so. Yeah.
But I like to reduce waste, so I have a compost bin. I would throw away all my vegetable fruit peels in there just to help the environment.
Yeah.
And to bring it back to the garden.
Yeah. We do what we can.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna clean it up a bit, but maybe like that. See? Cool. Foreground, trees, leaves, they always help. And because we have hold on, where's our grid? Hold on. That's our grid.
We've got about 20 minutes left, Katrina, just a heads up.
Okay, we're almost done.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great. Sometimes I get caught up and I'm like, I think I have an hour left and it's like, oh, 20 minutes, yikes.
And we're just gonna, not too much, but hold on, because distortion is not a friend. But we wanna like shape it in such a way that it goes with our composition. Let's do that. I think, and maybe a few more.
It's looking beautiful. Wow, I want to go there.
Let's all go. Maybe a little more grass. Oh, that's my foreground. So it's very messy.
All creations go through the messy stage.
Something like that. Maybe. I think maybe like this.
Looks great.
So, yeah, and then I'm going to clean this up a little bit and prepare it for color grading tomorrow and adding atmosphere because it looks really messy. I'll try my best.
I think it looks great already. Yeah.
Thank you. So once we have the elements down, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna color grade them to put them all in the same universe. We're gonna match the color, and then we're going to decide on the sky because the sky dictates everything. Also, we're going to add more atmosphere here in the castle so that it will look really, how to say, it has depth and spacey or what? Spacey. If that's the word. Yeah. So that's it. I think that's for tomorrow for me.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. Maybe you can group your layers together and then maybe we can just turn some of them off and then back on so we can see how it builds up from background to foreground.
Oops, hold on. Where's my speaker?
There we go. And if anyone has any questions in the chat, go ahead and let us know.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. I can't hear you. Hold on. What happened?
No worries.
Ah. Hold on. Ah. Wait, hold on. I still, what's wrong?
Yeah. Are you able to hear me, Katrina?
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. Hold on. Here.
Yeah. All right, folks. We've got a little bit of technical difficulty, so we'll be back in just 1 minute. We're just doing some troubleshooting
I don't know
on the back
what's
end.
happening.
All right, we're just gonna sign off. We'll see you soon. We'll be right back.
Hi.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are good to go. Technical difficulties are a thing of the past.
I'm so sorry. So we still have time. So we're gonna start with the sky first. I'm going to show you what I plan to do with the color in this scene. I have a screenshot of it so that I can share to you. Oops, where is it? Here. I'm going to show you this. This is from a movie called Lost in Translation. This is what we're gonna be doing. I wanna create, that's a reference picture. I wanna create a half shadow here. So I want it to be a mix between like a dawn, like, oops. It's gonna be dawn here. And it's still night sky. It's still the nighttime on the other side. So it's like a transitioning of a scene. And I want to also add half shadow, like a sky, like a God ray over here, because half shadow is also another way to create drama in a scene. So we're gonna do that. So we're gonna focus on lighting this side, and then this side would be still nighttime. That's a moon. So first, we are going to fix our sky because sky is going to dictate everything. So let me see.
That's so cool. I really like how you're getting references for your lighting as well. And I'm excited to see how you can manipulate this image to match the lighting of your reference. That's gonna be very exciting.
I hope so too. Let's see. Yeah,
you got this.
We will work it.
Yeah.
So a half is, hold on, let me just share this one, just the sky. And
you work so quickly, Katrina. It's amazing.
Thank you. I don't know. But usually, and like if it's for personal work, I can finish a matte painting in like three hours or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but because sometimes I would pressure myself, like I have to get this done. I have to get it, you know, because I'm really not after the perfection or whatever. I'm really more on the practice. So I just wanna Good. Get there. Maybe add the night sky on the other side.
Cool. I've never seen mixing skies like that. It's really beautiful.
This is. We'll see. We'll see what this will get. I'm not sure too.
We'll see.
We'll see. And then maybe like half there.
Gideon asks, how do you find the time to create so many beautiful pieces of work?
Well, you just have to. You know, you prioritize things. It's not, time doesn't come. We all have the same time. I have to give up gardening.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, you really just have to just sit down and just do it. You don't have to have a finished piece every day or whatever. You just to give it time. If you want it, you give it time. You do it. I'm so sorry. What's this? That's just, there's no secret. Just give it time.
Give it time. Yep. Yeah. Prioritize it.
You prioritize it.
Yeah.
What's this? Not that one. So.
Oh, it's looking great. Beautiful.
Maybe like that, a half. But this one is a bit. And I also would like to add blending modes, soft light, just to. Oops. Sometimes I would intentionally create darker edges so that as for it to act as a border. Like that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It won't show, but if you're seeing it as a whole, you will notice that the eye will not go out of the scene because you have lighter areas in the other part of the images. So sometimes borders, you don't know it's there, but they're there.
Yeah, that's such an interesting take from, painting and other types of artistic art forms, is really using the elements in your image to draw your eye.
Yes, because basically it's how you guide the eye of your audience and how you want them to see what you want them to see first. Good storytellers are like that, like even writers. How they create a scene and then just hook you and then keeps hooking you until the end. It's the same, I think. So you want them, because people don't know sometimes where to look first. So you want to be the person to be able to tell them, oh, you look here first, and then you bring their eye to this, and then it's a full journey, and then they love it, and then they enjoy it. It doesn't have to be pretty, but if the composition is tight, then it will work.
That's really good advice. Yeah. It's composition. It's such a powerful tool. It's more than just creating a pretty image. It really helps tell the story of the world that you're creating.
Yes. So there you go. Maybe that's our done.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love that sky. Wow.
Just paint darker there and then sky there. Okay, so if we have our sky, we're gonna do with the deeper backgrounds. Let me just clean up. Okay, what's that? Okay, so here we're going to add atmosphere here first in our deep backgrounds, because to give it a depth. So what's atmospheric perspective? It's basically the further back your element or the mountain is, it will pick up more of the sky color and less contrast. That's what atmosphere is. So here in our deepest one, deep round one, let me just name it. Three pages. Let me just see. So I would use level adjustments. You can use curves, you can use whatever. I use level adjustments, hue and saturation. Those are the two that I use a lot just because I'm comfortable with them. But whatever gets the work done for you, feel free to use it. There is no strict set tools that you need to use. So first, we're gonna reduce the contrast. Hold on.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I feel like there's so many great tools. Oftentimes, it doesn't really matter which one you choose. It's more about whatever you can get the job done with.
That's true. That's why it doesn't matter what kind of pencil Stephen King uses. So
does not at all.
I'll just add a bit of that. So see how it creates that it gives us a feeling that it's back in Z space.
It does, yes.
Just by reducing the contrast and adding the color of the sky.
Wow.
So,
that makes a huge difference.
Okay, one thing that would, one tip that I would give is to go have a level adjustment and see your highlights. So you want your background to be the first thing to disappear. So see how the sky disappear first and then the mountain. So you want your next one to be this one, and then this before you get to your middle ground, and your foreground to be the last thing that will disappear because it is the darkest.
That's good advice. Yeah, I love that.
So if it's, let me see, if it's disappear here, I might want to set up my second one. Something maybe there.
That's great advice. So you're kind of calculating the light using levels adjustment layers. And
yep.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe. Yes. Maybe. Yeah, but okay. And you just, it's a lot of push and pulling because it's the colors you need to adjust as well. Maybe saturation.
Oh, it's looking so good. We've got just about 5 minutes left, Katrina. I can't believe how much you've done today. The powerhouse.
I think the pressure helps.
Everyone's very supportive in the chat. They love that tip on using levels adjustment.
Thank you. I hope you find it helpful. It's one of the things that I would use a lot as well. I'll teach you tomorrow how to color match using the levels as well, because sometimes let's see here, if you want to check the highlights, you will see that the highlights is still a bit darker, so you might want to adjust the highlights. Just not that one, but that one. That's how you color match it.
Oh, cool.
So, and then you can see sometimes that there's a lot of, how to say, this is not a good example. How about the other one? Let me check. Because sometimes you can check if the highlight color matches through levels by checking the levels as well. Let me just how to say, like for example, this one, you can see the highlights is it has this intense green. So you might want to tone it down a little bit. So that's how I use levels, the lights, to help me check with the color adjustments as well. Because you want your highlights and your shadows to match. So if that's how you check the highlights, you want to check it through the shadows like this as well. So see how different they are. So you can actually adjust it by adding more, that's probably red in the shadows. And And then it's a lot of push and pulling. So yeah,
that's great
just to
advice.
have an overall light adjustment, and then you will see if your shadows are matching, if your highlights are matching, if your midtones are matching. That's just it.
Brilliant.
And make this
So
one.
many good takeaway tips that I feel like we can use on any type of work that we're doing, you know, because you've shown us how to light and match lighting as well as color and composition. And these things really apply to just about any form of art.
I hope so too. I hope you get something from this and you get to create better work.
Thank you.
The world
so much.
needs more artists. The world needs more artists.
I
Whatever your
agree.
point of view is, we need it. Everybody loves
agree.
Stories, right?
And speaking that, we are wrapping up today, but we are going to be back at 9:30 a.m. Pacific with part 2. So stick around. We've also got an Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge replays with Julia, immediately followed by editorial design with Ariane. It's so great to see everyone in the chat. I can't wait to see you guys back for the part 2 tomorrow with Katrina. And Katrina, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been absolutely amazing. All righty, everyone.
Can't wait for tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
Fantastic. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everyone.